All right, so if you noticed, I was getting on my front foot on every shot there. And that is a huge key to your success in tennis. But guess what? You're not always going to be in perfect position. The ball's not always going to come deep to you. So in this lesson, I want to help you better understand how you can handle balls that come lower and shorter in front of the baseline here, and balls that push you back deep behind the baseline. So we're going to cram a lot of information into this lesson, but I at least want you to have the big takeaway of how to move through the ball when the ball is short and how to get balanced in the best way possible on these deeper balls. So first we're going to talk about moving up to balls. So let's assume that you're behind the baseline, you're getting on your front foot on a lot of balls. That's where I want you to be when the ball's in the middle of the court. When the ball comes shorter, the easiest way to handle this is to keep moving through the ball. So the one footwork pattern that I love is what I call the run through. And typically we're going to use this on wider balls. But when the ball is in the middle and it comes short, what I want you to do is still use the run through and move up to the ball like that. So if you watch what I'm doing here, I'm actually coming off of my outside leg when I hit this shot. If you also notice, I'm not turning sideways. I'm actually facing the net. So when I see the ball come short, I'm facing the net and I'm almost just walking through the ball. This is a lot better than moving up, stepping in, and lunging and tipping over with the upper body. This is what I see a lot of players do. So first off, I want you to start out by shadow stroking this move, or using shadow footwork where you're moving up and you're just running through the ball. So I'll give you an example of what that's going to look like right now. So it's just a simple jog through the ball. If you'll notice, it was very relaxed. There wasn't any stress. I didn't come up and step in and lunge forward. We'll show it on the backhand side. So again, you'll notice I didn't turn sideways. I just kept my chest facing the net, and I just almost walked up to the ball and I hit it off of my outside leg. Now I know that I make it look easy, but if you practice this shadow stroking, the shadow footwork concept, and then you can get a ball machine or someone to feed you balls, you can get the hang of this. I will point out to you that on the backhand side, it's going to be harder to do. Most people want to get on this front foot on the backhand side. So you're going to have to probably spend twice as much time trying to hit the ball off of your outside leg on your backhand side. So let's go ahead and show what this might look like if you're rallying or if you're playing a point, a baseline point or a serve point. So now we're going to rally, and I want to put this together for you so you can see the appropriate footwork that you can use when the ball comes shorter. Now, if some of these balls come deeper, I still might use the footwork pattern that you would use on the shorter ball just for the sake of this lesson, just because I want to help you understand how to integrate this way of moving. So remember, if you're set, you can get on the front foot on your ground strokes. But when the ball is coming shorter or lower, you might have to move through it. And that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to rally a little bit, and if the ball comes a little bit shorter, I'm going to use that run through or walk through footwork pattern where I'm literally jogging through the ball, going off my outside leg. So on my front foot there, and even that one was deeper, but you see how I waited? Here we go. And I go off my outside leg. So I'll go outside leg here. See how I ran through that? That was a good one. So you notice I went off my outside leg on it. Rally again. Front foot. Okay, you can go shorter. Now I'm going to walk through it. So that was a really good series there where you could see that on regular ground strokes, I went off my front foot. But when the ball came with slice or a little bit shorter, I came up and I hit the ball off of my outside leg. You can do this on the forehand side or the backhand side. One point that I want to make is that if the ball comes into your body and you're hitting a backhand, most of the time with your backhand, you're going to want to use a carioca sometimes. So this is more advanced, But when the ball comes, you'll be on your front foot and you'll bring this leg behind. You've probably seen that taught before, but I just want to bring that to your attention that the first thing I want you to practice is walking through or jogging through off of your outside leg. And then if it comes into your body and you find yourself on your front foot, don't stop and hit. Use the karaoke to get through the ball. So with moving up, this is huge for you not to stop. It's huge for you to move through it. And I want you to keep practicing this concept. So you can do the shadow strokes where you step in and then all of a sudden you walk through it with your outside leg. Then you can try to integrate that when you start rallying or when you start playing points. So now that I've shown you how to handle balls where you move up into the court, I've got to also show you how to move back appropriately. Now we're going to pack a lot of information in here, so pay close attention. Now the biggest problem that you all are having out there is you really don't have a clue or an understanding of how to move back initially from the split step and then what type of footwork pattern to use. So I want to clear that up for you right now. And this is going to be a great lesson because when I think back to all the years that I played tennis, there were very few coaches that could even show me what to do when it came to moving back. No one ever taught me how to drop step. No one ever taught me that I could use these different footwork patterns to be more efficient. So let's get into it right now. First off, a lot of you out there are still standing too close to the baseline. We've talked about this before. We need to focus on moving back. Just by moving back 4 feet behind the baseline, 5 feet behind the baseline, now you don't have to cover as much ground. If you were on the baseline, you would have to take more steps to get back. But now that you're back here, your focus is actually going to be getting forward up to the short ball, and to get back, you're only going to have to take a couple of steps. So that's number one. Start further back. Number two, you're going to practice coming out of your split step, and I need you to work on a drop step here. And I like the drop step crossover, which many of you have a little bit of difficulty doing. You sometimes are dropping and then shuffling back. So you're going to do shadow strokes where you split, drop step, crossover. Okay, watch this again. Split, drop step, crossover. That's not going to be easy for a lot of you, so it will be important for you to practice it without a ball coming your way. Now, what do we do with footwork patterns? Many of you out there can't jump. Many of you out there aren't college or pro players. So we've got to try to get you on your front foot unless the ball is up against the fence. So after you drop step and cross over, you've got to get your body behind the ball so that you can get on your front foot. All right? So that just means, again, you've got to time your split step and get back so that you can get on your front foot. If you're not able to do that, you still can hit off your back foot and be successful. And the way that you'll do that is when you go back, you're going to load this leg, and as you swing, you can just let this leg come through like this. So notice how my body rotated when I did that. I'll show you on the forehand side. I drop step, I load, and then I rotate the body. So this is one time where you can let your momentum go backwards and still hit good shots. Again, you're under stress, you're struggling, you've got to be able to do something with your feet instead of just reaching for the ball and not using your legs. So now let's show you how you can actually move back on your ground strokes, you can practice your drop step, and you can work on hitting off your front foot and hitting off your back foot to hit these successful deep balls. Now we're going to show you some rallies where I'm going to be moving back to deal with those high, deep balls and show you some different variations that come up in a rally and kind of talk you through it. Now, keep in mind that you might not see me under stress like I would be if I started on the baseline. That's simply because I'm starting further back and I don't have to move back as far. So you're going to see me in good position on some of these balls just because I start further back. So I'm going to start rallying, and like I said, I'm going to talk you through kind of some of the things that are going through my mind and what I'm feeling and what I'm focusing on. So I'm just rallying on my front foot, comes deep. That came really deep. So if you noticed, I had to hit this off of my back foot, and as I hit, I swung this leg around. So that's an example of how you can actually be okay with hitting off of your back foot or your outside leg. Federer does this a lot. So we'll keep going with it here. See what shows up in this rally. I'm on my front foot. Ball comes high. I got on my front foot. I'm deep in the court. I'm on my front foot. Front foot still. Good. Now this one, I go off my outside leg and swing my leg back. I'm back, front foot. So you'll notice if I stay back, I can hit a lot of shots still off of my front foot. That court positioning is huge. Now, if you stand deeper, you've got to be ready to move up for those short balls. So if you notice that you're playing deep and you're getting beat on short balls, you might have to reposition yourself closer to the baseline. I think it's going to be rare that you play a player that can hurt you with the deep ball and with the short ball. So just make sure you find out the type of opponent that you're playing ahead of time, or figure it out while you're playing to see where they can hurt you, and then you can adjust your court positioning accordingly. So now we're going to rally, and if he plays me short or deep, I can show you how I handle these balls. So I'm on my front foot because I'm standing back. Ball comes deep. I bring that leg back. Short. I can move up to it. Back. Now I'm on my front foot. So you'll notice I'm not actually stressed out as much as I would be. Again, if I was standing up here, I'd have to be backing up and hitting the ball off of my back foot a lot more. So again, court positioning, and then if you do have to move back, you're going to keep working on a drop step to get back. So let me show you that actually really quickly. I'm going to stand up a little bit closer, and when the ball comes high, I want you to pay attention to that drop step move. So that time, I did my drop step and my crossover. I couldn't get back on my front foot, and when I hit the ball, I just kind of jumped a little bit off of my outside leg. I just flowed. And that's, again, that's something where you have to just be creative with your footwork. But know that it worked better for me because I was able to use the drop step instead of moving back like this to hit the ball. So let's summarize this. First off, court positioning is going to be huge for you. If you move back, you're going to be able to get on your front foot more. Second, if you find yourself closer to the baseline and you have to move back, you're going to practice that drop step to get back. And finally, third, if you have to hit the ball off of your outside leg, be adaptable with your footwork and be willing to hit and jump in the air a little bit, or be willing to hit and let this leg swing back a little bit. So those are some of your keys to focus on when you're moving back to handle those high ground strokes.